Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 15. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment. What plans are you making this week for Game Week 15? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the goalkeepers and the defense. So, in goal, we do have Raya and Fabianski. Again, Raya, I think, is just going to be a solid goalkeeper for the remainder of the season now. Did keep another clean sheet last night against United. Got some really nice fixtures coming up. Fulham away, and then Everton at home, Palace away, Ipswich at home, Brentford away. Just some really, really nice fixtures from an Arsenal defensive standpoint. And I feel like they've found their form again, and those clean sheets are just going to hopefully keep ticking over. So, I really like Raya as your main goalkeeper. I've gone Fabianski just simply because he is, at the moment, a 4.1 million playing goalkeeper, but obviously there's a massive rumour that the West Ham manager is going to get sacked, and if that does happen, is Fabianski going to keep his place, or is Areola going to come back in? Because then if Areola is going to come back in, you may as well just bring in a 4 mil non-playing goalkeeper to save that 0.1. But I think it's worth the risk if you are wildcarding this week for that 0.1, just to see if Fabianski does keep his place, because he also has some okay fixtures coming up. And of course, if you wanted to like bench boost in a couple of weeks or something, maybe when Fabianski has Southampton away, then obviously it's going to be very nice to have a playing goalkeeper. But I still think this is the best goalkeeper combination. Again, not the cheapest, but with the fixtures that Ray's got coming up, I just think that, yeah, solid option for the time being. At the back, we've got Gabriel, who's got Fulham away. Spurs away for Colwell. We've got Trent, who's got Everton away. Kirkes, who's got Ipswich away. And I've also got Harwood Bellis, who's got Villa away. So there's a couple of talking points about this back line here. So starting things off, Harwood Bellis is just going to be basically bench fodder. He's a cheap playing defender. You're not going to really be playing him at any point, but if you ever need him, or if you kind of just want him for the bench boost, he's always there just in case. He's basically a sure starter. Obviously didn't play the last game because of suspension, but he's back now. You're not going to be playing against Villa away or Spurs at home or anything like that, but maybe when they play, I don't know, West Ham at home or something, potentially you could play him in that fixture. But again, not going to be someone that you're playing basically ever. It's just bench fodder. Also got Kirkes as well. I really like Kirkes. I think he's going under the radar a little bit. He's very, very attacking. Bournemouth don't keep the most clean sheets, but in his last few fixtures, he's picked up a couple of assists. I think he scored against Wolves as well. If we go over his history, yeah, so he scored against Wolves, picked up 2 assists against City. And apart from that, his numbers have been pretty good, like 0.24 goal involvement against Brighton, 0.10 against Brentford, 0.11 against Villa, 0.08 against Arsenal. He's a solid little asset, I think, to own. And the fixtures are pretty good for Bournemouth as well over the Christmas period. He's a slight rotation risk in the sense that he doesn't make it to 90 every single week, but I don't think that's a massive issue. I think he's going to be starting every single fixture, and if he comes off on like the 60th, 70th minute, sometimes that can be a blessing in disguise, because if they're keeping a clean sheet at that point and then he comes off and then they concede, you're still going to bag those 6 points from the clean sheet. So it's one of those that I don't mind. As long as he starts every single fixture, he's got really good goal threat. I really, really like him as an option. He's only 4.5 mil. And with the fixtures they've got coming up as well, I don't mind him at all. Also gone Trent as well. He's still 6.9 mil. Did pick up 2 assists last night. Tripled his attacking returns of the season from last night's fixture. And he didn't even start the game. So I really, really like him going forward. Again, slight rotation risk. I'm sure he's going to start Everton. I'm sure he'll start Fulham, but I'm sure he'll start all of these games. You've got like Carabao Cup and stuff coming up, which he's probably going to get benched for. He might get like some early substitutions. Again, the benching last night was probably just because it was a midweek fixture. They do have Kwanzaa. They do have Gomez, although they did concede 3 last night, and maybe that's something that comes into the equation as well. Maybe like I think the defense definitely takes a hit without obviously Konate and Trent starting. Even though Trent's not the best defender out there, I still rate him a little bit higher than Kwanzaa at right back, who I think played there last night. But either way, the attacking potential is right there, and like I say, coming off the bench and getting 2 assists is just what he can do. With the fixtures that Liverpool have got coming up, I think he's just a no-brainer to have on a wild card. I really, really like him. And then I've got Cole as well, another player that got benched last night. That was, again, just a midweek benching. With the fixtures that Chelsea have got coming up, I'm more than happy to have a 4.5 million playing centre-back. Again, Sanchez got benched as well, and that's the goalkeeper, so it can happen to any of them. I think the only sure starter is literally Palmer. But I think Colwell, he's a solid asset to own over all these green fixtures that Chelsea have got coming up. Gabriel is still a bit of an injury doubt. Obviously, if we do get news that he's not going to be playing, then you just trade him out for Saliba. But yeah, Gabriel has the higher goal threat. I know that Saliba scored last night, but he didn't know anything about it. It hit his back and went in, whereas Gabriel's actually got that bullet header. So I definitely would go forward with a Gabriel in this team. I think he'll be fine. It doesn't sound like it's a long-term issue, so hopefully he's absolutely fine for the Fulham away game. And then after that, again, really nice fixtures coming up. They still kept a clean sheet last night, even without Gabriel. But I really like this back line and the goalkeepers. I think it's solid for a Game Week 15 wildcard. And then moving on to the midfield, has taken a couple of hits in terms of price. We've got Rodgers and Semenyo in there instead of, you know, players like Bruno Fernandes or trying to think of somebody else, maybe like an Mbeumo. Even though a lot of people are going to be offloading Mbeumo right now, we've got a couple of cheap midfielders there, which I don't mind because they, again, Rodgers is probably going to be your 8th attacker at this point. Potentially could be getting a rest at the weekend as well against Southampton. It's obviously a really good fixture, but he played midweek. I think he played like 70 to 80 minutes. Emery keeps going on about a rest and stuff, so potentially that could be against Southampton, which is a game that they should comfortably win anyway. So maybe he gets benched for that. I wouldn't be surprised. But on the other hand, we do have Saka, we've got Palmer, and we've got Salah. Again, they just all kind of pick themselves the 3 best midfielders to own at this point in the game, in my opinion. They're all absolutely solid, all great captaincy shouts, although I think everyone's just going to perma-captain Salah now, especially with the fixtures they've got coming up. It's like, why would you go against him? He got another ridiculous haul last night, 18-pointer, just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I think he's just going to be a set and forget for most people. And then moving on to Palmer, obviously picks himself as well. The fixtures that Chelsea have got coming up, absolutely ridiculous. And then again, Saka as well, really nice fixtures coming up as well. I do like the midfield. Like, you've got Semenyo and Rodgers, who again are a little bit on the cheaper side, but the fixtures that they've got coming up, like Semenyo is going to be a 90-minute player unless he gets injured or, like I say, a suspension or something like that. So I'm absolutely fine having him. And then, like I say, Rodgers is kind of hit and miss on whether he's going to get benched or not, have an early substitution. It's one of those things. You kind of just have to get it right. Like if you benched him last night, like I did, you got it wrong. Whereas if you play him against Southampton, he then might get benched, which of course, I mean, assume a lot of people would be playing against Southampton. But either way, that's the midfield. And then up top, we've got João Pedro, Cunha, and Nicholas Jackson. The Jackson one's a little bit weird because for me, if I was managing Chelsea and I was going to rest him against Southampton, I would have just made him like get a yellow card in the game before that, because if you're going to rest him anyway, he serves his suspension and then he's fine. Whereas if he picks up a yellow against Spurs, he then can't play the Brentford game. So I don't know, like maybe he didn't always know he was going to rest him, but it's so easy to get a yellow card nowadays. You literally just kick the ball away, and he could have literally just done that, get rested for the Southampton game, serve the suspension, and then obviously be ready for the Spurs game. So that's what I probably would have done. Just strategic at the end of the day. But either way, Jackson makes the squad. And then we've also got Cunha and João Pedro as well. I'm recording this before the Brighton game, so obviously we don't know if João Pedro is going to be benched. Apparently he's fit to play, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. And then with Cunha, yeah, obviously Wolves is a bit of a weird one at the moment. They got battered last night 4-0. Whether the manager gets sacked as well soon, I don't really know. But even if he does, Cunha is still going to be in that starting 11, still going to be on penalties. They've still got some nice fixtures coming up as well with West Ham, Ipswich and Leicester. So I'm absolutely fine having him. And then he's an easy swap to Chris Wood as well when Forest fixtures start picking up again. So don't mind that at all. And then João Pedro, like I say, on penalties. And I think when he's fit, he's just going to start anyway. So that's the forward, the midfield, and the defence. I don't mind the wild card. It's not really... in my opinion, it's not a great time to play a wild card right now, just simply because with the Christmas period, there's going to be so many benchings and stuff like that. It's always a tough one. Like, you have to have a really strong bench just going into this part of the season, because as we saw last night, there was so many big named players that didn't play. Like, obviously Gabriel missed out, Jackson missed out, Colwill missed out, Sanchez missed out, Trent missed out. There's a lot of players that got benched last night, so that's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks with all the kind of fixture congestion. But either way, if you are on a wild card, I don't mind this one. I think it's solid. The only real rotation risks in this team, in my opinion, are like João Pedro and maybe Trent as well. I think everyone else is fine. I know that obviously Colwell's just been benched and Gabriel's an injury doubt, but that's not going to happen very often at all. But either way, that's the wildcard draft for 15. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 100 likes. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.